Hey everyone, and welcome to the fourth episode of Chit Tuesday. I've been considering not saying the actual number of the episode on each video and just leaving it to the title because it's not like this series has a specific correlation between each video. I'm most likely to talk about completely different concepts. So I thought maybe saying the number of the video might get a bit tedious after such time, and I definitely will leave it on the title of the videos because I think that could be helpful for some people. Sometimes when I'm searching videos on YouTube, I like to refer to the number of the episode, even if that segment in specific isn't related a video with another video. So, as of today, our topic is also going to be pretty, I'm not going to say weird, but out of niche compared to what I've been talking about on Chit Chat Tuesdays. If you watched last week's episode, I started with I kind of like shifted in the style of videos for Chit Chat Tuesday and started doing some opinion-based videos. And last week's topic was actually time. My opinion on time and how people perceive time, specifically. And today, our topic is actually going to be a bit related to other series on this channel, which is Fire Emblem. Again, it's going to be a specifically opinion-based video about how I feel towards the franchise of Fire Emblem. And as I always say, as I always do, I write on my blog about what I'm talking about during Chit Chat Tuesday. So this video will be up on Tuesday, as always. It's currently Saturday, and Sunday, which for you guys should have been a day and a half ago, maybe, or 2 days ago, you could go see my blog post regarding this same topic. Sometimes I add a different twist or a different approach to the way I write, because of course the way we speak is different to how we write. If you want to know more about that, you could go visit some of my other videos where I talk about communication specifically. So, regarding Fire Emblem, if you don't know what Fire Emblem is, I suggest you go see my gameplay videos on them. I post them every Monday. I post them every Friday. And, if you do know, then I'm happy for you, because you have been introduced at some point in your life to this wonderful franchise. Just as a quick flash of what Fire Emblem is, I would describe it as a turn-based strategy, although the wiki doesn't actually name it as a turn-based strategy for some reason. It names it more specifically as a role-playing game, which also is actually quite on point. And I reckon the role-playing aspect is one of the most crucial elements in the Fire Emblem franchise. And later in this video, I will be regarding this role-playing aspect and how that makes the franchise very special and different from other franchises. Because, of course, turn-based strategy games are a pretty big genre. It's pretty broad. There are a whole lot of games that are similar in style to Fire Emblem. And of course, that would mean that for Fire Emblem to be successful as it is today, it would have to have a certain aspect inside its niche that makes it more appealing to the public in comparison to other titles. So, just as another quick, not a tip, a quick detail would be that Fire Emblem is produced by Intelligent Games, or Intelligent Systems, and it's specifically for the Nintendo consoles. I don't think there's a Fire Emblem game for other consoles out there. Of course, you can play them on PC, most of them, if you download the ROMs and all that stuff. Normally, that would be the easier route to be able to play the earlier titles in the franchise. And specifically, there are I reckon like 6 or 7 titles in the franchise, because it's a franchise that's been around since like 1990, if I'm correct. And when it just started, all of its titles were Japanese exclusive, so they didn't leave the Asian region. It just came to our side of the country, if you're listening from any English speaking country, around, I think it was around like 2004 or something along those lines. It was like the 7th entry in the franchise. And that's actually currently the first game I got to play, but I got to play it like in 2014 or something. I got introduced to the franchise like a bit late. I'll talk about that later. And it's also the game I'm playing on my gaming series, if you want to go check it out. But specifically, if you want to play the Japanese titles, some of them have remakes as English titles for newer consoles, of course. But if you want to play the older versions, because you like the retro style, then I would definitely recommend that you download a ROM with an English patch on it. Some of the more common English patches are actually pretty good. They have quite a good amount of content actually translated, and the story is actually pretty understandable. Okay, so as I've mentioned before, Fire Emblem is inside a niche of games which are turn-based strategy games with role-playing aspects. And as I said also, a lot of games share the same niche. One of the more popular titles that I could remember from my childhood that seems kind of similar to Fire Emblem, but of course it's drastically different, is Advanced Wars. If you've played Advanced Wars for the GBA titles, they were pretty fun games. I remember having a blast when I was like 8 years old or something. But they differ quite heavily from Fire Emblem. If you guys know, let me make a pause right here. If you guys know about any titles of games that are similar to Fire Emblem or similar to Advanced Wars, I think Ghost Recon also is similar. I played one of those titles, if I'm correct. Name them to me in the comments. I might check them out, and I might make a video about them and shout you out if that's possible. Okay, back to the video. I was referring to Advanced Wars, what makes it different from Fire Emblem. And to be honest, here is the crucial aspect that actually makes Fire Emblem stand out. It's that every character that you get has a specific backstory, has this certain world that accompanies him, you know? He's not just a troop in your arsenal. He feels like a real person that's under your command. If you get really involved into the games, each character feels like an actual person, and then you're commanding them and their life depends on you. Because one of the features that actually make Fire Emblem shine is its permanent death feature. And this permanent death feature is actually quite outstanding. For half of the franchise, I would say, it was kind of an obligatory aspect. I think in the newer titles, you're able to disable it, if I remember correctly. And actually that came into debate as something that should have been kept or not, because for a lot of people the game breaker, or the deal breaker actually, is the permanent death aspect, because it gives certain feeling to your troops that other games don't have. For example, in Advanced Wars you could mass produce troops because that was one of the strategies, and the only character that really has like maybe a bit of an emotional attachment to you is the leader, based on who you choose. But the actual troops that you mass produce, they don't have like an individual value to you. So you dispose of them because they're just extra troops, you know? But in Fire Emblem, it's not like that. You actually take your time on each map, and not all maps are like terribly difficult. Not all games are terribly difficult. Some are a bit more difficult than others, and I'm referring to Ector hard mode, yes. But actually, most are pretty chill if you take your time to strategize and plan it out. Of course, upping the difficulty to the maximum will give you a worthwhile challenge, and I definitely recommend it if you're a veteran to the franchise. It makes the games pretty fun, that's for sure. But as I was saying, the permanent death feature is what keeps the franchise mostly alive. I've heard this opinion all around the internet, and I've actually heard it from specific YouTubers. I don't recall their channel names at this moment, but if you guys remember or if you guys know about a YouTuber who has done a video similar to this concept, where they remark the permanent death feature as a crucial aspect in Fire Emblem, then make sure to leave them in the comments, and I will for sure add them to the description, because you guys should watch them. There aren't too many videos out there that give a genuine opinion on how Fire Emblem actually makes the players feel, and I think more videos should be made regarding this topic, because since I said I grew onto Fire Emblem about 6 years ago, around 2014, 2015. If I recall correctly, I was watching Smosh Games, and I heard, I think it was Lasercorn or something like that, or Joven Shire, I think it was. I don't watch them too much anymore. They were talking about, or they actually named the Fire Emblem franchise quite a few times. And for some reason, it just piqued my interest, at some point. So I searched it up, and I downloaded the ROM for the first Fire Emblem game that was actually traduced to English. And it was fun. It was really fun. I could say I really enjoyed it. I wasn't really used to the permanent death aspect because I hadn't played much games that had that aspect, actually. So it was like a refreshing moment for me. And since that time, every time I tried to introduce one of my friends to play Fire Emblem at some point in their life, I always fail miserably. Because I myself am not the best at explaining about Fire Emblem, to be honest. I'm not the best pitcher for games. And as I said, I couldn't find much videos out there that could explain the topic very well, or that couldn't actually transmit this emotion of what actually makes a Fire Emblem game a Fire Emblem, So, going back to the permanent death feature. If you have troops that you grow onto and they die, then you actually start to feel bad. I think that's actually kind of what makes Pokemon Nuzlocke, and I know this is a completely different topic, but that's what makes Pokemon Nuzlocke actually so popular. Because the aspect of having a specific Pokemon and you nickname him, so he has like a specific name you give him, that creates an emotional bond with you, the trainer. And if he faints, he dies, and you can't use him ever again, and you can't see him, that has an impact on, I would say, on basically anyone, and it gives a whole different view to the game, of course. In Fire Emblem, it's basically the same gist. It's you have these specific units, and you grow more attached to them as the story goes on. You learn more traits about them, about their personality, how they act, how they respond to different situations. You might be fond of how they act, or you might be totally opposite. You might have a totally different point of view of how they react to certain situations. But nonetheless, that doesn't get rid of this aspect of, if you lose this person, then he's actually gone and you can't use him ever again in the game unless you restart. So it makes you evaluate each and one of every of your decisions. Of course, Fire Emblem has a huge roster of characters you can play, because having so many titles, it has so many different characters. And of course, you could probably find a character for every personality archetype. So you might not be fond, as I said, of certain characters and be really close to others, But if you imagine a different person, they probably differ from your mindset. They might be really fond of the characters that you hate, and they might hate the characters that you're fond of. That's just how complex we humans are. We have different perspectives of this person or this unit's specific personality and reactions and everything that accompanies him. So, as a closure to that specific aspect, I would say the remarkable part or quality of a Fire Emblem game is the subjectiveness it brings to the table. And as video games evolve, they're going to evolve in a certain fashion, of course, to make themselves more appealing to certain audiences. They should evolve into maintaining their subjectiveness, because I reckon that's the crucial aspect that they have. And of course, Fire Emblem is also kind of a debatable game as well, because in the more recent titles, it's been bringing a lot of the aspects of role-playing into what some users might define as a dating simulator, and I would have to somewhat agree with these users. They are kind of looking to enhance the aspect of dating inside the game, because just in case for those who aren't familiar, Fire Emblem also is pretty popular because you can basically pair up two units by making them fight side by side on the battlefield, and that creates certain specific dialogues that couldn't be watched or heard in any other circumstance or situation. And what Fire Emblem, or what the franchise actually did with this aspect, is turn it into a dating simulator where by pairing up two units at the end of the game, they end up marrying each other and having children. I'm not totally opposed to this. I'm really fond of the pairing option, yeah, but not as a dating simulator. I think if intelligent systems want to make a dating game with the roster they have of Fire Emblem, then by all means they should, because apparently there is a pretty large audience that's interested in this. And what I do think, and I think it's a pretty strong opinion from a lot of people, is they shouldn't continue to emphasize this in the main series game. I think they should emphasize the subjectiveness, as I've said, but not specifically keep continuing emphasizing this dating aspect they have implemented. It's not bad. They should probably leave it where it is right now and start making different games if they want to go through that route, but continue the Fire Emblem franchise, of course, because to be honest, they have so much potential and video games just keep evolving. So that would be the closure for this video, and that's my reasoning behind why I believe Fire Emblem is such a marvelous franchise. It has so much potential. It could go in many different routes, and I really think it should emphasize certain aspects as its subjectiveness, because that's where Fire Emblem shines as a franchise. So I hope all of you enjoyed this video. It was a bit of a weird video. I'm not usually accustomed to talking about video games or giving my personal point of view about video games, but as I said, every time I tried to introduce friends to this series, I failed miserably, so this is my attempt of redeeming myself in that aspect for sure. And if you guys are interested in Fire Emblem, by all means go check out other YouTubers who play it. You guys could totally check on the internet for different opinions. I really suggest that people listen or read different opinions about the same topic, because that gives you, of course, different perspectives to make your own opinion, which I think should be the objective of these kinds of videos. Incite others to form their own opinions based on different information they can hear or gather. And go ahead and check out my series if you'd like. As I said, I'm currently playing through what's called the Blazing Sword or the Blazing Blade, Fire Emblem title. And, well, go check out my other videos on basically Pokemon Nuzlocke. If you guys like Fire Emblem, then you might like Pokemon Nuzlocke. And go check out my blog, as I said. I must have posted about this last Sunday. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I wish you all much luck on whatever you're proposing to yourself in your life, and I wish you all much love. Goodbye to all of you.